What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Palantir. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what really drove it higher today, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Palantir did go up 3.2%. A lot of volume, so 54.3 million shares being traded, 43.3 is the average. Based on this, you did see a lot of attention coming from institutions, and based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price, majority of these were buys. And these are all the transactions over $100,000 occurring on the secondary market. So institutions were absolutely in love with Palantir, and beside the point, over this last week, give or take, it has been just getting so much attention, as you can kind of see right here. So I don't know, I think bigger and better things might be coming Palantir's way. And today though, there was no official news from Palantir. As you can kind of see, last news came out on June the 10th. There has been a couple SEC filings, a couple 144s. There was one done today at 428, a couple yesterday, on which a lot of them did show some directors were at least proposing to sell some of their shares. It is just a very small amount, so nothing really to worry about in my own opinion. But still, beside the point, when it comes down to Palantir, it seems to be defying logic. So for instance, even just looking over this last 5 days, Palantir is up 11.04% and the SP is up 1%, give or take. So there's a good level of FOMO that's kicking in. And when it comes down to Palantir, it is giving me more so like NVIDIA vibes, because NVIDIA over this last 5 days is only up 4.84%. Both of them seem to be defying a lot of the data points that's been coming out. So obviously CPI, Powell, even today retail sales, somewhat mixed as far as the overall sentiment on that, but honestly, these companies, so Palantir and NVIDIA, could not give two fucks, pardon my French. But yeah, honestly, Palantir is getting so much attention. The technicals behind the scenes as well are looking very, very optimistic. So again, I'm going to go over all the things that you need to know. But when it comes down to what really drove it higher today, it was more linked to this. So some pretty good ratings as of late. So you did have Bank of America. This one was done 11 days ago. Maria, who has a 84% success rating, gave a $28 price target. There was one that was done yesterday, initiated coverage, $29 price target. Argus and Joseph, who has a 61% success rating. And there was a lot of good bullishness to a lot of the recent ratings. So this is where I think a lot of people might be starting to look at Palantir as, hey, this is something that we should be paying attention to. It's kind of funny and ironic because nobody is really that optimistic. Even looking over this last 4 months, you had $12 and $14 price targets, a $9 price target. So it's kind of ironic that once it goes up to like double or triple their rating, then this is where they'll start to pay attention to it. But obviously, analysts don't always have things all together, right? Such as this individual with RBC, only a 48% success rating. But while I'm actually on IBKR, I'll give you a quick overview of the Elliott Wave technicals, because in my last video, I did bring this up. So it does have a pivot point of $21. At the time of me doing my last video, I think it was at 23, give or take. I did say that I did anticipate it to, especially based on what Powell said, for it to pull back to the 21 before rocketing to where it is projected between that $28 to $29 range. Completely neglected to kind of pull back or consolidate. It is just skyrocketing. So based on the technicals, it is forecasted to again hit that 28 to 29.50 range within at least the short term. So what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that's going to be the next stop, or do you think it is going to propel higher from that, for I guess above that? So what's your thoughts on that? Moving on, looking at some data points, I do like to bring up shorts. Definitely, I don't see Palantir being a short squeeze play, but it's good to analyze what they do. So shorts right now did increase 1.15 million shares today. 3.73% of the free float is being shorted, and that works out to be 71.93 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization is 3.88%, and then cost of borrow average is 0.53%. So clearly, based on just the numbers here, it's not a squeeze play. But interesting point though, by shorts increasing today versus kind of just returning some shares, admitting defeat, they are very adamant that clearly today wasn't justified. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Palantir's green day with the retail sales and as well with what came out from the Fed speaker about potentially no rate cuts for at least in the next 1 to possibly 2 quarters? Like, what's your thoughts on that? But moving on though, looking at options activity, $69 million in calls today, 7.4 million in puts. 49% of all the options being done today were optimistic and bullish. And of the call options that are being purchased, you do see a consensus for it to be between that roughly $26.50 and $27 range by the end of this Friday. So clearly more of a continuation of this FOMO and just green days and push higher. Looking at puts though, even though there wasn't all that much, you do see a consensus for it to be sub $25. So in my opinion, even based on where we're at, there's a lot more upside anticipated than down. So what's your thoughts on that in the comments below? But right now with it at $25.82, it is trading between this R2 and this R3. So $25.51 is going to be that next strong support, and then vice versa, $27.37 is going to be that next strong resistance / target. So going into tomorrow, just watch for it to orient itself towards this R3 or possibly minorly, I guess, consolidate to this R2 before propelling to this R3 once again. But nonetheless, Palantir is looking absolutely primed, and there's a lot of FOMO that's kicking in when it comes down to Palantir. On the actual chart itself, so it is higher percentile of the Bollinger Band. Stochastic, you do see a nice bullish deviation, but it is at 86, so that is considered overbought. So the first sign of weakness from Palantir itself, this is where you could see a pullback. So similar to what happened kind of this range right here and as well right here. So you never know if Palantir does put out something that's gray. I think the market really might pull Palantir down a little bit. Nothing significant. It's not going to go back to the 20s at least overnight or whatever, but there will be probably a pullback to most likely at least this R1, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But you know what? There's a lot of good growth stocks that do generally stay in the overbought status for quite some time. So let me know your thoughts on that. You do see number of retail investors just buying the hell out of Palantir. So I think over this last 5 days or this last little bit, a lot of people don't really know what causes Palantir to go up. They just are piggybacking off of that. So retail, once again, is absolutely loving what Palantir has been doing over this last little bit, ever since it bounced off of that $21 range, which again is that pivot point based on the Elliott wave technicals. So you know what? Like, I honestly do feel that $28 is realistic, at least in the short term. Whether it stays there or not, because again, it would be considered very overbought, I'm not really sure. So honestly, Palantir is one of those stocks that you should really add to your watch list. If you guys don't know options, definitely research them, because when it comes to Palantir, any volatile stock, and especially based on the amount of premiums that you could get by either selling calls or selling puts, it's absolutely amazing that a lot of people should not miss out on. So again, highly recommend you guys learning options. One final thing I just wanted to share with you though, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.